Welcome to another episode of Marine Science Fact. Today we will talk about how harmful algal growth can be problematic for coral reef. Coral reefs are some of the most diverse and productive ecosystems on the planet, built by tiny coral polyps that form massive limestone structures over thousands of years. These corals depend on a delicate balance of environmental conditions and species interactions to thrive. While corals have a symbiotic relationship with microscopic algae known as zooxanthellae, which live within their tissues and provide energy through photosynthesis, an overgrowth of macroalgae on the reef can be devastating. Corals and macroalgae are in constant competition for space, light, and resources. Under normal conditions, herbivorous fish and invertebrates, such as parrotfish and sea urchins, keep macroalgae in check by grazing on it. However, when these grazers decline due to overfishing or disease, macroalgae can rapidly overtake coral-dominated areas. Macroalgae grow much faster than corals and can outcompete them by occupying available substrate, preventing new coral larvae from settling and reducing reef resilience. In addition to competing for space, macroalgae can directly harm corals by releasing chemicals that inhibit coral growth or even cause tissue damage. Some species of macroalgae produce allelopathic compounds that are toxic to corals, suppressing their ability to grow and reproduce. This chemical warfare gives algae a competitive edge, further accelerating coral decline. One of the most immediate and visible threats macroalgae pose to corals is physical smothering. Unlike corals, which build rigid calcium carbonate structures, macroalgae are fleshy and flexible, allowing them to spread over coral surfaces and block access to sunlight. Since corals rely on their symbiotic zooxanthellae for photosynthesis, this shading effect can deprive them of energy, leading to stress and reduced growth. Furthermore, as macroalgae decompose, they contribute to increased microbial activity, leading to lower oxygen levels around coral colonies. This microbial proliferation can cause localized hypoxia, oxygen depletion, further stressing corals and making them more susceptible to disease. Bacterial pathogens associated with decomposing algae can also directly infect coral tissues, accelerating their decline. Another problem associated with excessive algal growth is sediment trapping. Macroalgae can accumulate and hold fine sediments, increasing turbidity and reducing light penetration. This further hinders coral photosynthesis and makes it harder for new coral larvae to settle and grow, reducing the reef's ability to recover from disturbances. Preventing excessive macroalgal growth requires proactive management strategies that address the underlying causes of imbalance. One of the most effective precautionary measures is protecting herbivorous species such as parrotfish, surgeonfish, and sea urchin. Overfishing of these key grazers disrupts natural controls on macroalgae, allowing it to overgrow unchecked. Establishing marine protected areas, MPAs, where fishing is restricted can help maintain healthy populations of herbivores, ensuring that algae do not overwhelm coral reef. Another crucial step is reducing nutrient pollution from land-based sources. Agricultural runoff, sewage discharge, and coastal development often introduce excess nutrients into the ocean, fueling algal bloom. Implementing better wastewater management, reducing fertilizer use, and establishing buffer zones along coastlines can help minimize nutrient pollution and limit macroalgal overgrowth. Restoring damaged coral reefs through active conservation efforts is also an important precautionary approach. Coral gardening, where coral fragments are grown in nurseries and later transplanted onto reefs, can help rebuild coral populations and increase reef resilience. By promoting coral health and growth, these restoration efforts give reefs a better chance of withstanding algal encroachment. When macroalgae have already overtaken a reef, more direct intervention may be necessary. In some cases, manual algae removal by divers has been used to clear excessive growth and give corals a chance to recover. While labor-intensive, this method can be effective in small, high-priority areas, such as marine reserves or key tourism sites. Reintroducing herbivorous species to degraded reefs is another potential solution. In places where sea urchin populations have declined due to disease or other factors, efforts to restore their numbers can help control algae. Similarly, enforcing fishing bans on herbivorous fish can allow their populations to rebound naturally, restoring the balance between corals and algae. Artificial reef structures and coral transplants can also be used to rehabilitate areas where coral loss has occurred. These efforts create new surfaces for coral larvae to settle while limiting space for macroalgae. In combination with herbivore protection and nutrient management, artificial reef projects can accelerate reef recovery. The battle between corals and macroalgae is a critical issue for the future of coral reef. With climate change, pollution, and overfishing placing increasing pressure on reef ecosystems, the risk of algae overgrowth is higher than ever. Without intervention, many coral reefs could transition into algal-dominated ecosystems, losing their biodiversity, economic value, and role as marine habitat. By taking both precautionary and responsive approaches, we can help protect coral reefs from the damaging effects of macroalgal overgrowth. Strengthening conservation policies, reducing human impact, and restoring natural ecological balances are all essential to ensuring that coral reefs remain vibrant and resilient for generations to come. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the notification bell. Let us know in the comments down below which interesting ocean facts you want to hear about next. Can accelerate reef recovery.